Today we're going to be talking about some different types of tuning hammers. Many customers ask me questions about, well, what's the difference between the different types of tuning hammers that we offer available. So I'm going to show you some of the different ones that we have and the differences between them. Probably the one we sell the most of, it's the least expensive hammer that we carry, is this basic gooseneck style piano tuning hammer. It's got a fixed head, it's got a star-shaped tip, as you can see, and a wood handle. So it's a good basic hammer. By the way, all of our hammers are made here in the United States by a company called AMS Piano Tools, and they're located in Illinois. So they're good quality tools. One of the most important things about a tuning hammer is to have a tip that fits well on the tuning pins. And all of our hammers have the same high quality, well-fitting tips. They're all hand machined and fit the tuning pins well. So you have a good solid fit on the piano tuning pins. So this is our basic lever. And then we've got the next one we have is one very similar. It's got the same handle. The only difference is that it has the threaded end on it, so that you can remove the head and change to a different head and tip combination. Okay, I'm going to take this. This is a one-piece head and tip, which you can get different combinations, but as you can see, it's got threads on the end of this one. But this is basically the same as the gooseneck lever, just with a threaded end, so you can change. This is again that one-piece head and tip. This one happens to be have a number 2 size tip and a 5-degree head. This one is the same as what Shaft sells as their student lever. It's a student lever if it has a one-piece head and tip. If they call it a craftsman lever if it has a 2-piece head and tip, which the difference with that is the head, which is this part, and the tip are 2 separate pieces. On this configuration, it's all one piece. The head and the tip are all one piece. But on this one, you can see the head and the tip are 2 separate pieces, which is another option available with the heads and tips. And this hammer is another next step up. I would say it's a professional nylon handle tuning hammer. It's got basically the same, except it's got a nylon handle. Again, the same threaded end on the handle, so that you can again use whatever head and tip configurations that you want. You can get different angles of heads, different size tips. And then we go to our extension hammers. This one is our wood style extension hammer lever. It's got a collet here that you can loosen and tighten, and then you can extend the handle. And this piece is actually replaceable, but it's threaded, and it's threaded on both ends actually. But and you can extend it and tighten the collet to have it whatever length you want. Many people like the extension hammer, not necessarily because it extends, but it just has a little more stability. It's a little stiffer handle. We've got a similar one to that. This is another extension hammer. The only difference with this one is it's got the nylon handle. Some people say, well, is the nylon handle or wood handle better? I think it's mostly personal preference. But again, this one has the extendable lever on it, so that's our standard nylon extension tuning hammer. One very similar to that is another one that's got a nylon handle, but it's just, this one's the compact nylon extension lever. So you can see it's just a little bit shorter. So, and then we also have one very short one with a wood handle, and that's the mini wood handle extension tuning hammer. Of course, the extension rod on it isn't nearly as long, but I know a couple tuners that like using this on grand pianos because at the top end you don't have to worry about nearly as much about running into the case end. So And a couple specialized hammers that we have here. This one is called an impact tuning hammer. It's the Keys impact tuning hammer. It's got a weight that moves up and down, so you can adjust the amount of weight or pressure. But the main thing is this can move back and forth, not on the tip, but the handle. This part pivots right here, and what that does is you can, as you're tuning, and it doesn't work as well on grands. It's mostly for uprights, but you can actually move it by tapping it like that, and it makes it be able to move the tuning pin in small increments. So some people like that. It's gives you a bit more control once you get used to it. It is a little bit hard to get used to it once if you're used to the standard tuning hammer, but some people really like that type of a tuning lever. Another one similar to our gooseneck lever. It looks the same. The only difference is the tip size, or this tip shape, is a little bit different. This one's made for oblong tuning pins, which were found on older square grands and some really old from the 1800s pianos. They used not the square shaped tuning pins, but the oblong shaped tuning pins. And then the last one I'm going to show you is this one. It's called a factory style piano tuning hammer. This one, it's got an end that you can pound on with a hammer if you want. If you want to set the pins, you can set it on there. If you want to put the pins further into the block, you can set that on there and then pound with a hammer on the end of this to get the pins to push into the pin block further. So that's what some factories use that, and that's called the factory style piano tuning lever. All except for the oblong tip tuning hammer have a star-shaped tip. Some people say, well, my tuning pins are square, why do you use a square-shaped tip? The purpose for the square-shaped tip, or the star-shaped tip, which is made for the square tuning pins, is to be able to facilitate more angles on the tuning pins. Okay, so you can do it here, or you can do it here. Okay, so that gives you 8 positions that you can put the tuning pin or tuning hammer in instead of just 4. So there you might be able to find a square-shaped tip tuning hammer out there, but there's limitations on it. And so that's the main difference with that. So, all right. So hopefully you can understand a little bit more about the different types of tuning hammers available, and please let us know if you have any questions.